हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू चैनल वंस अगेन। सो अभी तक हम लोग ने क्या क्या कर लिया है वो देखते हैं। तो व्हाट इज़ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ये मैंने डिटेल में आप लोग को एक्सप्लेन कर दिया था, उसका कोर कॉन्सेप्ट समझा दिया है। आफ्टर दैट वी हैव डन व्हाट इज़ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म, फिर रूल ऑफ लॉ आई हैव एक्सप्लेन यू। फिर उसके बाद डेमोक्रेसी के जो 3 पिलर्स हैं, लेजिस्लेचर, एग्जीक्यूटिव और जुडिशरी, ये हम लोग ने देख लिया था। फिर डिटेल में उनका कॉम्पोजिशन देख लिया था, सेंटर में और स्टेट में, और कौन कौन से आर्टिकल्स के अंडर में आते हैं वो देखा था। फिर कैसे कोई बिल जो है वो एक्ट में कन्वर्ट होता है वो सब देखा था। फिर लोकसभा की सैंक्शन स्ट्रेंथ देखी थी, फिर राज्यसभा की स्ट्रेंथ देखी थी। फिर स्टेट में कितने टाइप के हाउसेज होते हैं, बाई कैमरल और यूनिकैमरल, वो देखा था कौन कौन से स्टेट में क्या क्या है। फिर उसके बाद हम लोग ने एग्जीक्यूटिव वाले में टेम्परेरी और परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव का कॉम्पोजिशन देखा था। फिर जुडिशरी में बात करें तो इसमें हम लोग ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट और उसके नीचे डिस्ट्रिक्ट और सबॉर्डिनेट कोर्ट्स के बारे में देखा था। फिर पार्लियामेंट की बात करें तो उसमें कितने टाइप्स की मेजॉरिटी हैं, सिंपल मेजॉरिटी, इफेक्टिव मेजॉरिटी, एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी और स्पेशल मेजॉरिटी, ये चारों को डिस्कस किया था एग्जाम्पल के साथ। तो अब फर्दर मूव करते हैं हम लोग। सो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव सीन प्रीवियस ईयर्स क्वेश्चन पेपर ऑफ पॉलिटी लास्ट 5 to 10 years? इफ़ यू हैव ऑब्जर्व दैट क्वेश्चन पेपर प्रॉपरली, देन एक कॉमन चीज़ आप लोगों ने नोटिस की होगी दैट यूपीएससी नेवर आस्क क्वेश्चन जनरली फ्रॉम अ सिंगल टॉपिक। दे हैव अ हैबिट टू मिक्स मल्टीपल टॉपिक, दे क्लब इट टुगेदर एंड उसका एनालिटिकल या एप्लीकेशन वाला पार्ट आपसे पूछता है। तो लेट्स सी दैट विथ फ्यू एग्जांपल्स ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर्स क्वेश्चन पेपर। इस बार मैंने थोड़ा सा अप्रोच अपना चेंज किया है, मैं स्लाइड्स यूज़ कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि वो प्लेन बोर्ड पे लिखने में आई एम अनेबल टू एक्सप्लेन यू मैनी ऑफ द कॉन्सेप्ट, और मुझे लिखना भी ज़्यादा पड़ रहा है। सो दिस अप्रोच आई हैव यूज्ड, यू जस्ट कमेंट डाउन अबाउट दिस अप्रोच, वेदर इट्स अ new initiative, whether you are enjoying this initiative or I should switch back to my older technique. So as I was telling that UPSC mix multiple topic to form single question, or we have limited time, we cannot discuss each and everything in our class. So what you have to do from your end कि कोई भी टॉपिक पे आप लोग खुद से थोड़ा सा 360 डिग्री R&D करो, बट डू कीप इन माइंड, डू नॉट स्पेंड मोर देन 25 to 30 मिनट ऑन एनी सिंगल टॉपिक। आपको पीएचडी नहीं करना है, उसका एक ओवरव्यू लेना है ताकि क्वेश्चन कितना भी ट्विस्ट करे, यू हैव सम पॉइंट टू राइट अबाउट इट। सो दैट्स द बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट। सो आई होप यू विल कीप दीज 3 रूल्स इन माइंड। अब इसका एग्जाम्पल हम लोग देख लेते हैं कि दिस ईयर CEC वॉज इन न्यूज़, चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर, ही वॉज इन न्यूज़। रीज़न उसके पीछे, जो वेस्ट बंगाल में अपना इलेक्शन हुआ था वहाँ पे स्पेशल इंटेंसिव रिवीजन हुआ था, जिसके बाद बहुत सारे जो वोटर्स थे उनका नाम इलेक्टोरल रोल से बाहर हो गया था। तो देयर वाज डिस्प्यूट रिलेटेड टू दिस, एंड एज यू नो दैट इलेक्शन कमीशन इट इज़ अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी। तो यूपीएससी विल नेवर आस्क क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली विच इज़ like a criticism for any constitutional body or any political body. So आपको you have to apply its application. तो question could be framed that what's the role of judiciary in maintaining trust in democracy in the case of dispute. इलेक्शन कमीशन से रिलेटेड जब भी डिस्प्यूट होगा, यू हैव ऑप्शन टू मूव हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट। तो व्हाट रोल दीज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कोर्ट विल प्ले, इसके बारे में आप खुद से थोड़ा R&D करो और ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग करो। इट विल हेल्प यू आउट टू राइट अ क्वेश्चन एट स्पॉट यूजिंग एप्लीकेशन। सिमिलरली जैसे मैंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आप लोग को एक्सप्लेन किया है डिटेल में, तो अभी मैंने उसकी स्टैंडर्ड डेफिनेशन आप लोग को नहीं लिखवाई है। उसके पीछे रीज़न बहुत सिंपल है कि इफ़ आई गिव अ फिक्स डेफिनेशन, मोस्ट ऑफ यू विल राइट दैट सेम डेफिनेशन, एंड फॉर बुकिश काइंड ऑफ लैंग्वेज और कॉमन आंसर यू डोंट फेच एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स। सो व्हाट यू कैन डू, कॉन्सेप्ट आपको क्लियर हो गया है व्हाट इज़ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, एंड ईच एंड एवरी वर्ड ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज़ very important, it carries legal validity. So you just pick up some standard resource like PIB, NCRT or Supreme Court website, and using that material you write some standard definition of constitution in your own word, so it will be easy for you to reproduce that definition in the exam, and in less word you will be able to explain more. I hope you are getting my point. Let's see some other example related to PYQ. This 2024 question, in this it has asked, explain the reason for the growth of public interest litigation in India. So first of all, to solve this question, you should know what is public interest litigation, like its historical background, where we inherited this PIL, and looking at the second part of the question, as a result, the Indian Supreme Court emerged as the world's most powerful judiciary. So Indian judiciary is emerging as the world's most powerful judiciary. To explain this point, you should be aware about the judiciary of all the major countries around the world. For example, judiciary of UK versus judiciary of USA. So for comparison, you need to know about the judiciary of United Kingdom and USA, so that when you give point, you can substantiate your point. Similarly, there was one more question in 2023. The Constitution of India is a living instrument with capabilities of enormous dynamism. So it is talking about amendability of the Constitution according to the requirement of time. So if the concept of amendability and flexible part of Constitution is clear to you, you will be able to address this first part of the question. Then it is a constitution made for progressive society. So you must be aware about the concept of affirmative action taken by our government. So you will explain that part, what steps are taken for progressive society. Then illustrate with a special reference to the expanding horizon of the right to life and personal liberty. So in this part, you should be aware about that uh, judicial interpretation from rule of law to due process of law during Menka Gandhi case. So if you address these areas, so you will fetch extra marks for this question. I hope it is clear to you what I'm trying to explain you over here. Now, there was a concept like constitution, that is the mother law. So is there any possibility, like there could be possibility that a law can be older than constitution? Is there any possibility that a law older than constitution can exist? How many of you say yes, and how many of you say no? So the correct answer for this question is yes. There are various laws which are older than our constitution and they are still existing. So let's see the example of those law. Article 372 of our constitution, it explicitly explains that any law, whether it is made before the formation of constitution, it will exist unless and until it is repealed by our parliament or struck down by constitutional court. Example of those law we can see here, like Official Secret Act of 1923. This was made before the commencement of our constitution, which happened on 26 January 1950. There are various other law which were framed before the formation of constitution, like University Act, of 1904, based on the recommendation of Relic Commission. Then a few of the law which were framed before the constitution, they were not following the principle of constitutionalism, so they have been struck down by our parliament or judiciary. Example of those law are like the Notification of Criminal Tribe Act, which was framed in 1871 during British rule. Or just before few days, there was a news related to violation of human right. So abolition of bonded labor law, 1976. This was also a old law which was repealed. So there are n number of examples of various acts which were inherited before the formation of constitution. So a question should arise in your mind like how these law became the part of our constitution. So these became our part of constitution by adoption or enactment. By adoption or enactment in our constitution, they became the part of our constitution. So parliament and judiciary, they decide whether a law will continue in our constitution or it will be repealed. So I hope till here it is clear. Now going to our second part. So this part already we have discussed in our previous class, like check and balance. So basic concept for check and balance was that the concentration of power should not lie into any single organization or person, because in that case there is a possibility that that particular organization or person can misuse that power. So by this diagram also you can represent check and balance. I got few comments like concept of check and balance was not clear. So here with a regular life example, I'm going to explain that concept once again. So think this car as a constitution. So constitution, it is quite a powerful tool. If you know the proper use of this tool, you can make your life easy. How? Looking at the example of this car, if you utilize this car, it can save your time. It can save your time. It can make your life easy. But suppose if same car is being misused, it can create havoc in the society. For example, this car have three parts: A, B, C, accelerator, brake, and clutch. So take example accelerator as an executive. If executive start behaving in such a way that they are misusing their power like they are over speeding, so it can lead to encroachment in other people domain, like they can encroach in judiciary domain or they can encroach in legislature domain. So to make sure that this executive works properly, we have legislature. So here legislature act as a brake. If executive they are misusing their power, if they are overreaching, then legislature they can put brake on their exercise of power as they are accountable to legislature. So for their every action they have to be answerable to legislature. Similarly, judiciary can intervene whenever they misuse power. So both are accountable to judiciary, whether it be legislature or executive. So in simple term, you can draw a diagram and represent check and balance in this way. I hope now it is clear to you. In future also we will read it several times, so don't worry, this concept will be clear to you. The main point is कि बैलेंस बना के रखना है, कोई भी एक डोमेन जो है ओवर पावरफुल ना हो. लेजिस्लेचर जो है वो जुडिशरी को इम्पीच कर सकता है व्हेन दे आर नॉट वर्किंग एज पर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, और judiciary can nullify executive or legislature action. So after this a question would arise in your mind like wherever there is a written constitution, which domain is generally considered as very powerful. So if you look at the American constitution, their judiciary is quite powerful as it has written constitution. So similar way in India we have courts which are quite powerful. Why is it so? Because courts they are the ultimate interpreter. What is written in the constitution, who is going to tell you that that you are going to get answer from high courts or Supreme Court. They are going to tell what is there written in between the line of the constitution. So wherever there is a written constitution, generally their constitutional courts are quite powerful. So this slide explaining those concepts only, that judiciary become exceptionally powerful as the final authority of the interpretation, and in that case whether you agree or disagree with them, but you have to abide by their decision. Now if you have to represent Indian form of democracy and American form of democracy, you can use this diagram in your mains. So this diagram is representation of Indian parliamentary democracy, and this represent American presidential democracy. In this, all the three organs are separate, they are not interrelated to each other, whereas in case of India, executive, they are subset of legislature. So for being a minister, you have to be part of the legislature, and if you are not part of the legislature, you have to be get elected to that particular legislature within 6 months. It is both in case of center, or it is a case of state assembly. You have to get member if you become part of executive. So here I think it is clear. Within 6 months after being minister. So these points which I am explaining over here, these all are PYQ of prelims, like these questions have been asked. And in case of America, like executive, they are handpicked by the president, they are not part of the Congress. So let's see few of the features of constitutionalism. So democratic features, what are its features? Limited government. So in this, state operate only within a definite legal boundary, prevent absolutism. So everyone has a limited power. Rule of law, if we talk about rule of law, it is applicable for both citizen as well as government in particular, as they are bound by law. Now if we talk about separation of power, legislature, executive, judiciary, all are separate from each other and they check each other. Fundamental right, it is one of the most important part of our constitution. By the way, B.R. Ambedkar said heart and soul of the constitution. So this term he has used for which article of the constitution? If any of you know about it, please comment down in the section and let me know whether you are aware about it or not. So through article 226 you can directly move to high court, and through article 32 you can directly move Supreme Court if there is violation of your fundamental right. Judicial review, as it is under article 13, this forms the basic structure of the constitution as interpreted by our judiciary. So it can validate action of both legislative and executive action. So this is one of the feature of check and balance. Popular sovereignty, so ultimate power reside with the people through conduct of election from time to time. So democratic process, this is the backbone for flow of power. Accountable government, like whoever hold public office, they are accountable for their decision and action, and from time to time in election, public decide whether to continue with that government or to remove them through their voting rights. Now as we move to the last part of our slide, we have discussed that constitutionalism, it ensures law and order. So constitutionalism is also act as a restriction on the freedom of individual. How? Restriction by law. Suppose if somebody want to drink in public space or want to smoke, so it can affect the health of other public. So we can make law so that these kind of activity do not take place. So in simple term, we can say that to ensure freedom of others and to have uh, safe public order, few law are implemented which curtail the law of curtails the freedom of individuals. So these are the example: prohibition of inflammatory speech that disturb peace and social harmony. So constitutionalism, at one hand, it gives you freedom to work and develop individually, but at other hand it curtails some of your freedom in order to maintain law and order in the society. So our constitution has been handshaked from various parts of the world. So which feature we borrowed from where, this we have discussed in our third video also at the end of lecture, but here I have provided few list of that part. You just go through it and see from which part, which scheme and structure we have borrowed. So Government of India Act 1935, from this federal scheme, Office of Governor, Judiciary, all these things we have borrowed. From British Constitution what we have borrowed, and from American Constitution what we have borrowed. All these things will help you to write down your mains answer. So till now I think everything is clear. So chalo, keep working hard and see you in next video.